He's whiny.
Yeah, like he sounds like such a bitch.
We're in a new era right now.
We're in a new era. We are silky smooth. We are on radio broadcast mode, right?
Not just that, dude. We got like actual listeners now.
We have actual listeners. We have
like
actual
legit
sponsors.
listeners. Or yeah,
I was asked at Urbit actually if the podcast is the main thing that I do. I was also asked at Urbit if Amelia is the main thing that I do.
Bro, I get asked that all the time. I'm like, do you know how much money do you think we make? Because if I could only do the podcast, I promise I would. But
if it's ever someone who's like they don't know enough about me, I tell them all that like the podcast is the main thing that I do.
I should do that. I mean, the only people
really
who say that
funny.
to me is women because they're trying to suss if I'm broke or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's extremely funny to see the look of total despondency on their faces when you say like, yeah, the podcast is my main thing. I'm still kind of losing money on it, but like I think this year is really the year for us, man. Like watching them just like all of that like libidinous spark just like drip out of their eyes. They
dry up like the Sahara.
There's nothing here for me. It's so fucking funny.
But that's how it starts. And then next thing you know, they're like, they see that fucking fat subscriber count, and they're like, you know what? Maybe there's a future to this guy.
Yeah, they go in the Substack and they start saying, "Oh yeah, he's a top Substack author. This is insane. Between this and the podcast, maybe there's enough subscription dollars for us to live off of in Argentina."
Actually, low key though, yeah. We actually probably not. We're not probably that far away from being able to live in Argentina. We should like keep track of like a board of the countries we can move to.
That would be so funny. Yeah, we have like a cost of living in like a region, and like after our podcast subscriptions hit a certain point, we unlock like Argentina, like El Salvador. all
like right now, we're still in the third world, but
eventually we're gonna break into like Portugal and shit. They were telling me, God, this was so fucking bad. This was one of the worst things that probably has ever happened to me. Was we were all sitting in the back of an Uber. By the way, Ubers there cost like they cost like fucking nothing. It was like €4 to Uber anywhere within the city of Lisbon, even if it was like 30 minutes away. It was just nothing. But we're sitting in there and we were doing the discourse about like, oh yeah, like if you only make 100K in New York City, you're basically broke, right? And then the fucking Uber driver interrupts and he goes, "We make €650 a month here." And I was like,
"That's what the fuck? Wait, really?"
It's like, God fucking damn it. Like, and all of us just fall completely silent and we're like,
that's brutal. I mean, I guess it works there, but that's 650. That's like,
well, so this was the really weird thing about Portugal is like somehow, the food was not that much cheaper than I was like everyone said, oh, the food is so great and cheap. And it was like, the parts that were good about the food were, there were a lot of different cheeses that were like, like you don't get goat cheese or like cow cheese or not
the quality cheese, of food
cheap cheese or something like that in America for like an inexpensive price. It usually has like some 2x markup. Yeah. And the seafood was all better than it was where I'm around, right? But overall, like it wasn't really that cheap. Like I wasn't paying. I mean, again, like, and I don't live. My primary residence is not like a super expensive place. So like I was paying more in like Portugal than I would for like meals out. Yeah, like fucking at my place. Also
comparing it to like where Austin or New York, it's like I know like when I
think it was like comparative to like Dallas or Austin, honestly. Like the prices were not, and you go and you look around for like,
but you're eating stuff that like here would be twice as expensive. Like for example, like if you're eating seafood and organic stuff.
I'm gonna say not even honestly. Like there were times where I was just getting like steaks and stuff and comparing. And like some people disagreed with this, but like I was pricing out hotels there versus like hotels in just like a normal big city in the US. And like, it was pretty standard down there for like midday rates of like I want to say like a 3-star hotel was about $100, 4-star hotel was about $150 to $220 or so.
I mean, that's still that's cheap. Bro, that's like, even in Austin, that's half the price.
That's half the price of Austin. I just got hotels down in Austin like 6 months ago. Like that's about where they're at.
With me
Before I stayed. Okay, not in Austin, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
I guess. Okay. But like in smaller towns, it was comparable to like, I guess, smaller towns in
yeah,
the
like
US, right?
if you got like a hotel, a Motel 6 or whatever those, like Ramada in like a small town.
Yeah. But anyway, like the thing is that like I'm not saying that it wasn't cheaper. Like it was obviously cheaper than a similarly sized city of like whatever quality of things we were getting in the US was, but it was only like 20 or 30% cheaper. It wasn't like enough to trigger my, oh my God, this is so fucking cheap alarms, right? So like I think, and this was kind of my thought about the overall Portugal experience. And I shouldn't say the overall Portugal experience because I was only in Lisbon. So this is my thought about the overall Lisbon experience. And maybe I shouldn't even say that because I didn't go around to enough of the city that I could like, like I was doing a bunch of the convention center stuff. I was going around to a bunch of parties. I wasn't really there to see Lisbon as much as I was to like do assembly as like a convention. But I will say that based on what I saw, it doesn't make a ton of sense for me to ever go back to Lisbon just to visit the place because like for everything that was nice about it, there's a place that's better, right? Like if I want to go get really nice food really inexpensively, I'm going to go to like South America. I'm going to go to like Argentina or something like that. And I'm going to get fucking like gourmet meal for like $6. If I want to go and I want to see nice landscapes, honestly, I'm probably going to go to like California or something like that.
Yeah, California kind of mogs most places, honestly.
Yeah, California is like an unbelievable mog of a state. It sucks.
Unfortunately, it's run by fucking idiots.
Right, that everything about it is the way that it is. But in terms of like landscape and natural beauty, like it really truly does mog like the rest of the world even. Like I'm not even going to say the rest of the US.
No, it's
like,
up there.
It's an extreme fucking mog. And then if I wanted like architecture, I'm going to go to London or Paris or something, right? Like
interesting. Not Spain.
Yeah. Like maybe Spain. I don't know. Like
maybe it's just my blood memories. I like the Spanish architecture.
It was just that it wasn't like class leading in any area, and it wasn't even like a good gray market combination of them all. Like I think overall, like South America would be like a more fun place to visit. I think overall,
I mean, everyone picks Brazil over Portugal if they're given the choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
Brazil is Portugal plus even cheaper and more fun. And
there's this thing where like if I want to go favela core, I want to go all in fucking favela core, right? Like I don't want to dick around with like second world shit where it's like it just doesn't it's not extreme enough one way or the other for me.
I feel that. If I was, I don't know if I would ever directly, other than for like, they do something every year in Lisbon, whether it's Solana or something or other crypto.
Yeah, I think there's like an ETH conference right after.
Yeah, maybe I'll go inevitably because of whatever, but I was mostly just going because of the crew.
Yeah, and it was really fun. I mean, it was like an absurdly dangerous place in the sense that it's not like you're going to go around and get like fucking mugged everywhere, but it was like the floor, the ground was like all these little square tiles that they get extremely slippery when wet, and it's hilly everywhere. And it was constantly misting the whole time we were down there. So like all of us are walking around in our like leather soled dress shoes. The girls have like heels on.
And
fucking everybody's just wiping out, dude. Like it was me, Sayla, and Miles walking around for one evening. And like we all had our arms locked, dude. We're not beating the homo allegations, but like it really was like I don't want to fucking fall down. And it's like, it wasn't just like a gradual, like you fall down and you like roll for a bit. It was like you fall down and you roll at like a 40-degree incline for like 7 blocks, right? Like you're just like, holy shit. Like they were just these extremely long hills, right? And there was one of the places that we were going to all the time down there that was like at the very exact top of this huge, enormous fucking hill. And god damn, dude, like every single time we would try and go down there, like it was just everyone like slipping and sliding around. And I swear to God, I shaved off like half the soles of my shoes, just like
trying to grip.
Yeah. Like go down there, you got to get fucking like Vibram 5 fingers or something. Like fuck it, there's nothing you can do. Like just throw style to the wind. We wear your Vibram 5 fingers everywhere.
I'll keep that in mind. Travel tips from Lukas.
Yeah, I'm a master traveler, right? I'm really great at this stuff.
I need to travel. I mean, you've been traveling. You've been on the world tour recently.
I have been on the absolute fucking world tour. And let me tell you, man, every time I do this, the length of time that I realize I need to stay in another country before I can deal with the stress of flying back on an international airplane is like, it's growing. Like this next trip that I do is going to be over a month. I can't have less than a month between dealing with airlines. It's just too much. It's too bad.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
And in theory, everyone keeps telling me that if I go and I fly first class and I get in the little fucking the weird bed thing, then it's all going to be so much better and stuff. But
it's not the flight that's annoying. It's everything else.
That's exactly my thought, right? It's the fact that I have to fucking pack. I have to drive to the airport.
Yeah.
I have to deal with like all the airport people. I have to deal with the fact that like
they give me 2 glasses of champagne and put on a movie and I'm fine, bro. I don't even notice. I'm just fucking chilling. It's dark in there.
Right. The plane is genuinely not bad.
Then you riz up the flight attendant. She gives you like 4 more bottles of champagne. You're just chilling. I don't need the fucking bed. That's not the point.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice. I can't sleep on airlines, and I keep falling for this thing of like, oh, stay up the night before so you can sleep on the airline on the red eye. It's never once happened.
You can't do it.
Never once.
You didn't sleep when we flew together.
Yeah,
I'm out in 30 seconds. It does. The second that like the engine revs for the takeoff, I'm out. It's like it's compulsive.
Yeah, you were real good with that.
Yeah, because I used to fly
I just can't fucking do it.
I used to fly between my parents, like for visitation and stuff. And we used to fly every single month at least, if not twice. And yeah, I'm instant sleep.
I'll have to try flying with Sayla sometime. Maybe
just cuddle up.
Yeah, maybe that'll be able to put us out.
Yeah, that's all you needed. That's all you needed. Just a nice little embrace, and that'll get you out.
I do think though that well, this time I did much better because I brought a carry-on instead of just having my backpack.
Yes, there you go.
So yeah, and the thing that the carry-on made better that I didn't expect was you have wheels that you can put your backpack on. And so you're going through the airport and you're just pushing around this like wheeled cart thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was so much fucking better than having to carry a backpack. Like I felt so much less impoverished by just having the push cart.
The carry-on is a lifesaver, dude.
And I had the funniest combination too, because I had this like military LARP like green like backpack, and I have this fucking like baby blue like women's carry-on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a really bizarre combination.
My backpack is literally only for my for like a sweater, books, and like laptop, and then maybe like whatever supplements I feel like bringing with me. And then
I think I straight up got fucking like 30 t-shirts in my backpack, and you would not I mean, I had like 3 blazers, like 7 pairs of dress pants, probably 9 dress shirts in the carry-on, along with like the shoes, the belts, the audio interface, the mics, the fucking
you didn't even use
shirts, the Remy shirts.
I just want to make sure that everyone understands that he brought all these mics and stuff.
I brought the podcasting studio down to Lisbon, and we never, because okay, this is the other thing, right? You have the opportunity to hang out with all these people who live across the world, and you can either talk to them or you can go off into a room and podcast with the guy who isn't your gay boyfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which of these is better optically?
I don't know. I mean, probably the first one. I think you're trying to tell me to do the first one.
Yeah. I mean, the first one, right? I mean, you're looking out for the podcast. If you want to see the second,
I just want to, but no one actually complained because everyone was in Portugal as well.
Right.
So
everyone.
I got no harassment.
That's good.
No one even noticed. And then like I put out the episode late accidentally because I don't know how dates work, because I had it like auto released, right? And I put it out on Thursday. And then people were like, "Oh, a new episode came out." I'm like, "Oh, no one even noticed. No one told me shit that it was supposed to come out Monday night for once."
Yeah,
hey, so it goes.
Yeah, I met Delicious Tacos down there. I met Magdalene. I still
never met Delicious Tacos. I'm sad.
Elena was really cool.
Elena Koshko, whatever her name is.
No, Elena Velez, I think. She has like some fashion line, some like Midwestern fashion line type thing that she does.
I want to be DT. I don't care about.
Yeah,
Elena.
Magdalene.
She might be cool.
Her boyfriend was like the most normal person there too, and I was constantly like, anytime I started talking about like any hyper online shit, I was like, oh god, this is so fucking. I felt so bad. He was just like, he just wanted to vibe, and I was like,
yeah,
I could feel that I was like abrading his soul.
We're back to posting.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. He was a cool guy. Delicious Tacos too. Like I just really like Delicious Tacos, man.
Oh, he's the lit. He's the homie. I will meet him soon eventually. I've missed him twice now, but soon that changes.
Very soon. Cool guy.
Maybe next time I visit my sister, I'll swing by.
Yeah, met Lomas too. I mean, I should.
That's who I want to meet too.
I should just stop like saying everyone who I like met or didn't meet down there, but like everyone who I met and hung out with was cool and fun to be around. There was I I will say there was one guy who everybody down there like started like unprompted coming up to other people and going like, is this guy like fucking like weirding you out? But it was funny because none of them were wanting to like say yes. So like at some point, this guy's going to experience like the world's largest preference cascade as everybody realizes that the other people don't like him either, and they're all going to like once that first person says it,
the domino,
right? It's just going to be like this instant eviction from the community.
Oof.
But
rip to him, rip Bozo.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there were so many fun fucking moments actually. Now that I'm thinking about this, because there was a time when someone was filming like a book reading, and they had the same camera that I do, and the camera, I heard it kept making the overheating noise, and he kept looking at it with this sort of like pissed off, disappointed face. And I got to like motion to him to like check his phone, and I sent him the like how to turn up your camera's heat rating and how to like you fold out the screen so that it can like reject heat better. And then it like stopped shutting off, and I was like, wow, like that was my
you fucking saved his life, bro.
Yeah, and I was like sitting up on the balcony, I was like waving my arms over, like trying to get it all working and stuff. It was the most the most Chad I've ever felt was fixing the camera that's filming the event with my like weird Reddit knowledge of the Sony systems menu.
You know, all the time you spend in the menus and in your Reddit posts,
right? It finally paid off. It didn't pay off for me because I still don't use my camera for anything, which is the funny thing. Actually, we should, because we can, now that I've discovered the key of wearing the fucking headscarf, we should just start doing this on camera, because we need it's like the intern said, if you don't have any video going along with your talking, you just wind up you get mogged by all of the video podcast posters. We need to post the video. I do think that in 2024, we should, in the next month or so, over the next month or so, we'll practice how to get that workflow, because it'll change the entire workflow we do. We can still do that in here. I think the big issue is just that we're going to have to hook cameras up. And I have my camera set up because I've been doing... I need to buy a camera. I have been doing some camera stuff. Actually, I might have my camera money for buying a camera soon. I mean, you have to. You can just use your webcam. It doesn't fucking matter.
Fine.
Because this is the thing. Like, I'm gonna
get clarity mugged.
It's not going to matter though, because what's going to happen is we're going to put the two video feeds side by side. Yeah, and they're going to get knocked. They're going to get knocked down, and we're going to be taking up half of a 1280p screen. 1080p. It's going to be half of a 1080p screen. 1080p, right? Yeah. And so, like, the fact that I'm recording on like a fucking like 4K camera with like a $2,000 lens is not going to matter, because there are not that many pixels on someone's iPhone as they leave this on their kitchen desktop while playing the podcast. Good point. Yeah, we're just gonna get scaled down, so it's fine. I can use my fucking built-in camera like a fucking pleb. But it's good. I think also, actually? I do think that I'm considering. I mean, I don't know if it really matters because my face is so distinct anyway. I was like, maybe I'll put glasses on or something. We'll see if I even in 2024 I still have the job I'm in. That's the only concern. The thing is just that there's no like cool way to fucking cover your face. You know, yeah. Like, they're all like weird LARPs. The headscarf thing, it's like within the context of like a Ramelia Black Ops speech, it's like, it's fine, I guess. Like, it's fine for us to do like a weird LARP in that context. But I don't really think that doing it as like a recurring people are going to be like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is just gay. Like, if I saw a podcast where like you're just always wearing like a balaclava or something, I'd be like, you're a huge fucking loser, right? And like the idea, but at the same time, being that huge fucking loser doesn't really. And then people are like, oh well, you can just do like VR tube with your milady, and I'm like, yeah, that's actually way worse. That's so much worse. Like, but the miladies when they get animated into VR shit, they look downright like creepy, man. Like, they're fucking weird, bro. No, but I've seen like fairly successful people with like a kind of like a Daft Punk thing going on. Oh yeah, kind of like get some sort of. I feel like that would be kind of fun too, considering we have like animal branding. We could maybe get away with that, but I think the only option that would be like we would have to go full fursuit. Like, I think if we wore fursuits on the podcast, I think that would actually like be unique enough that it would be like. It would be fine. I wonder if I could find a... No, the issue is that fursuits cost too much. No, not a fursuit. What if we just did it for a mask? I guess, yeah. We're not going to be showing... It's like the guys in the remote work who aren't wearing like pants. Yeah, that's me. Because you don't have to wear pants. I'm never wearing pants in the remote situation. Yeah. I'm wearing like some kind of,
some like running shorts.
That's the thing. We might actually have the money for like fur masks. Because like I'm not fucking with you when I say like fursuits literally cost like 15 grand. Man.
Oh no, they cost a ton of money. Yeah. I do know that. I think we can get like some kind of facial covering that'd be kind of fun and on brand for us, and then we could LARP that way.
It would take us like 2 years of podcasting to save up for like fursuits.
True. I mean, listen, I think we're gonna have a once we do our first promoted thing, then you have a promoted thing, and you can
reference the promoted thing,
and you can also snowball. And because I've been watching these like pretty big streamers. Now they're way bigger than us, like, but then one of the guys was doing a like, oh, this is what I get paid for doing XYZ, and he was like, bro, he gets paid like 10, I mean, granted, he has like 100 times our listener base, so it's in scale. But he's like, I get paid like $10,000 per hour for playing a promoted game on stream, and I'm like, for having effectively like 2 orders of magnitude more people than us. I'm like, listen, I would take $100 an hour, shit, for playing some promoted shit. Easy peasy.
50 when we split it.
Well, no, for the podcast, for the company, for the company, yeah, we'll split it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. Like, I'm here to.
I mean, it's $50.
I'm here to entertain the people, right? I'm not.
$50.
I am absolutely not podcasting for the money. Any money that comes in, we are very welcome and happy for it. But I didn't go into this profession for the dollars, boys.
I will also say this: there's also donations on stream. See, that's just before the stream starts. That's the thing. It's like the hourly rate on top of the actual listeners. So I think streaming.
The thing with like streaming is kind of like you have to have already a pretty big captive audience before you start. Like you can't start out streaming and then like build it up by streaming unless you have like some extraordinary gag or like publicity stunt.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, we kind of do that though.
I guess we do.
That's literally all we do all day on Twitter. And
I don't know. I'm just fudding ourselves unnecessarily.
You're fudding. No fudding. On Flagrant, they were doing the adjusted body count. Flagrant has like 2 million people watch it.
That is extremely funny.
We have more. We do publicity stunts weekly, really. So just don't FUD ahead of time.
I am shadow banned to all shit now, unfortunately.
It'll be temporary.
And it's worse.
What did you get shadow banned for?
It was the Sun and Rad post, the Black Sun.
I didn't even see you do that,
dude. It was the one where I. It's such. I honestly need to go through and make like a big explanatory post about what went on there, because like it was basically like there's this group of like right wing like video picture editor guys who do these things where they make like Nazi edits, but they always fuck something up, right? Like it's like and in this example, the thing that they fucked up was like they made a bunch of Polish women, and hidden in the picture of the Polish women using AI was like this big black sun.
Yeah. Okay.
And like the thing that was fucked up is like the Polish, they were all like brunette, brown-eyed Polish women, and like the Polish women were like they were allies in World War II. Like the meme is just that like
you just ruined the whole thing,
right? Like we've fucked up the Aryan wheat girls thing. Like they're Polish, like these are frauds, like it's like Italians or some shit.
LARPs.
And so I posted it and I said like this is so fucking funny. I was waiting for them to like figure out how to do this, and then a bunch of like retard lefties came in, and they were like, they saw the Black Sun, and they were like, oh my God, like neo-Nazi. And then they said like, okay, this guy is a neo-Nazi who is he's lusting after the Polish white women, right? He's Brazilian. So they just all started calling me Brazilian. And then I started saying like, why are you saying that I'm Brazilian here? What's going on? And they're like, oh, you're going to say that I'm the racist here. And it's like, I'm not. I'm just asking, like, what specifically about this is making you call me Brazilian, right? And I literally had like, I asked like 50 people. I went through like very specifically and said like, what about this post is making you call me Brazilian? And they would all like do this weasel. They'd be like, well, it's because like people are assuming that you're from Brazil, and it's like that's not an answer. That's like a circle. Like what you have to.
Yes, I understand what Brazilian means.
Why do they think that I'm from Brazil? What about this post is making them think that I'm from Brazil? Can you answer that for me? And they would all fucking weasel their way out of it, because obviously the answer is we're calling you Brazilian because that's the group of people who usually post these like wignat like LARPs about white women, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they were unwilling to say that because that actually is like racist by their standards. So they just had to do this weird thing where they were saying, oh, you're tone policing me while being a Nazi. And it's like, no, I don't care about your tone. Like, you can literally go like Heil Hitler if you want to. I'm just curious about.
I'm curious
what you mean by this, but I'm not going to get mad at you if you are being racist.
I think it's racist that they called you Brazilian and didn't even consider Dominican. Because it's very similar things there.
They never say Dominican for some reason.
They never say Dominican.
It is always Brazil, and Brazil is weird because like Brazil uniquely has a very big like actual pure Aryan population in it.
True, yeah, Giselle.
Yeah, it's not like that. Like it's not like Africa or something where it's like there are no white people, period. Like there are actually like a bunch of people who like fled to Brazil and are like,
yeah, it has the history there.
Right. Like, I mean, like they look like 1 billion times whiter than I am. Now that would be a great podcast recording. The Brazilians. The Brazilians are Aryan mogging Lukas.
Oh, actually, I'm writing that down. That's the title now.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know if I can say Aryan for the YouTube thumbnail, but we'll figure that out. That's funny. Yeah,
Lukas, the darkest Brazilian.
Oh, I like that. Well, yeah, it's these.
But like then so I made a post about that too. And then like the right wing guys were like, yeah, like they're like the real racists, and I was like, no, that's not what I'm saying either, right? Like it was just like both sides were like completely misunderstanding like what my point with this was.
I need the memes to update for both sides. We're too far into the 2020s for you to still do 2016 memes, guys.
Yeah. And then there were all of these people who were like, and the thing is that like I never like denied being Brazilian in any of the posts. Like I was just like, sure, like I can be Brazilian. I don't care. Like it's irrelevant to like the point I'm trying to make, right? And they were like, you're fucking brown. You will never be white. And I was like, it was just so funny, right? Because it's like the thing that gay people do where they like call other people gay as like an insult. And they're like, well, like I don't think it's bad, but I know that by your standards, you think it's bad. So I'm using it as an insult to insult you. And it's like, you're like, you understand that by doing this, you dirty the word, right? By using gay as an insult, you dirty and stigmatize it. You make it insulting. It doesn't matter like this weird rhetorical framing of like, oh, by your standards, it's bad. It's not my standards. I think it's like none of that shit matters. Using something as an insult makes it insulting.
Yeah,
and
true.
If you're calling someone brown, if you're like a communist who's like, well, I was like, I don't care that you're brown.
You're brown, you'll never be white.
Yeah, right. You're a Nazi, right? So like, it's bad by your standards, but it's not bad by like you're using brown as an insult, right? Like you just quote tweeted me calling me Brazilian, and like 1,000 communists liked this, saying like, yeah, fucking owned, dude. Right? Like the Nazis are mogging you. You're using brown as an insult. You got totally owned by a bunch of like internet anime avatars.
Yep. Listen, this is all going to be you're speaking French to them right now, or I guess Portuguese to them right now. It's going to go right over their head.
Well, no, I mean they know that what I'm saying is true. They just argue basically. They do like the slippery like word selling where they just keep saying the thing about how like, oh, it's I'm not using it as bad, so it's not like that doesn't mean anything that I'm using it as an insult to me. But it's like everyone knows how like rhetorical shift works. Everyone knows that if I like let's say that I'm out here, like I think it's awesome. I think it's fucking great to be a pedophile, but like I know you think it's bad to be a pedophile, so I'm going to call you a pedophile and you're going to get upset by it. Like, do you think that this has a positive or a negative effect on the connotation of the word pedophile?
Yeah. A little bit of lacking self-awareness, but
I would say even what's their fucking loser term for it? Praxis. It's almost right.
Oh,
It's almost like a failure of
it is a failure of praxis, isn't it? They are failing at the praxis. Damn it. And they're not even trying to build.
And for those of you who are normal, well-adjusted people, we're not talking about the failure of Praxis, the city led by Dryden here.
No one who knows what Praxis is normal and well-adjusted. All right. Though shout out to Dryden and all that. Trying to build a city.
No, they're going to sponsor us next time. We can't.
Oh, they are. I mean, I like them. I've been to 2 practices.
A very fast turnaround. Notice once we mentioned the sponsor.
No, but I'm just saying, no one who knows. Yeah, right. No one who knows what practice is like not incredibly online. Is the thing. So like, I don't know if I can call someone who's very online normal and well-adjusted.
I can call them well adjusted. But the thing is,
not normal,
I mean, it was entirely tongue in cheek. The point basically is that there's two disparate groups that use the word praxis totally differently, and like one of them I like more than the other.
Yes, that's fair. And then there's the Austrian Economics people who use the word praxis. That's another one. But anyway,
the Austrian Economics people, like somebody one time, I asked them, like, what is Austrian Economics? Can you just explain to me, like, just give me the fucking TLDR on Austrian Economics? And he sends me a photocopy of some textbook pages from an Austrian Economics textbook that he has, and it was
Human
about
Action, probably.
It was about a 15-page segment in his textbook that was like, it was like a graduate level textbook. It was going through and explaining why breaking the windows of a business in order to spur economic growth was actually not good for the economy. And I was like, this is beyond the most autistic thing that I could ever imagine.
No, that's like level 100 autism.
Yeah, like this is like fucking insane.
The Mises Foundation.
It was just like, and again, like I just summarized it for you in 2 sentences, right? With the window description that I gave you. But like, you need to understand that this shit was like, it was 15 pages of like textbooks aren't like normal pages, man. This isn't like
it's dense,
right? This isn't like 16 point font shit. This is like dense, like not that many pictures. There was like one picture of like a broken window in like a favela or some shit, talking about like like how it was basically talking about like positive versus negative economic drivers. And like it was just something that like it should never have had to be explained, but I guess it does. Because Austrians are ethnically German, right? Yes. And when you understand that, you understand, right? So if you reconceptualize Austrian economic theory as German economic theory in your brain, you start understanding how somebody could write 75,000 words about why breaking windows is bad for the economy and not good, right? And it literally started off by saying like, well, now, given what we've said in the last chapter, you might start thinking that ways to improve your country's economy would be to go around performing arson. And I was like,
no, I don't think
like that, right? Like that didn't occur to me personally, but I'm sure there's Germans out there who were thinking like, I can bring Hitler back, like if I just break enough windows, right? Like what was the fucking harassment architecture quote? Like if we can have like the Fourth Reich or some shit if we break enough BMW windows.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all out there thinking something like that.
I haven't. We just hit another bingo box here by quoting harassment architecture. Good for us. Good for us.
I've been poking. Not consistently, but a little bit of fun. A little bit of fun on Bronze Age mindset on the timeline recently. But like, I liked it. I thought it was a good book.
I like that book.
It's a great fucking like amp up thing. I'm not gonna lie. I love Mike Ma as a person. I think he does great stuff. I think his media is good. I think he's a good writer overall, but like I fucking hated harassment architecture.
You did?
When everybody was like, "You've got to read this book, bro." Like I read, and I was like, "This is like the whiniest fucking like angsty." It was like something that like
it's like Catcher in the Rye plus Ted Kaczynski.
It was just so like what I would have written like when I was like 6 months after like losing my virginity and like doing my first hard drug. Like,
yeah,
it was just, that was the energy.
I have the other book. I just never read a page of it. The Gothic
I haven't either, actually. Somebody gave it to me and I still have to read. And I don't know that I will ever be able to bring myself to, because like harassment architecture just let me thinking like, what the fuck is this, man? It did have some great lines in it. There were some like fun amp up sections, but there was also like, the part where he like described like staying up for like a couple days.
Oh, that's the one I liked the most though. That was my favorite. I was just about to say it was my favorite section.
About, like, like I was like, what the fuck? This is like some sort of like,
dude, that was
like
so real.
Sleepover energy. It was just so weird.
I read that during the pandemic and I was on Adderall and I had been up for like 40 hours and I was like, yo,
was
this
that
is
like
so
a passage
real.
of the book that you were only supposed to read if you were like on the same?
I think so, bro. Because I was just like stimmed out in my apartment, couldn't go anywhere, and I was reading that section like, oh, he really gets me right now. I feel so seen.
Well, it was like real and right. Like the things that he wrote about like being sleep deprived were true, I guess. But like, I don't like. I feel like the 2010s had their period of like describing sleep deprivation as its own drug.
Yeah,
and, like revisiting that for me was a bit of a like it feels the same way that
it
I
was
feel
written in 2018 or something like that, right? It was
like when guys start doing the talking point about how like well, when women have rape fetishes, say they want to be raped, what they want isn't actually to be raped. They want a perfectly imagined, like, handsome man of their selection to like slightly aggressively take them in the way of their. And it's like, okay, like I've heard this talking point since I was like 7 years old. And when I hear it now, it's like, aside from the fact that the talking point itself is kind of like maybe not like ideal, but like hearing it just evokes this energy of like, like you've told me the same thing too many times. Like it's repetitive, it's old, it's bad. Right. Because I have like such a novelty seeking brain that like when you just slam me over and over and over with fucking the same thing, you make me listen to it over and over. I flip. I just flip sides. Right.
That's what I was
like,
saying about how we need to update the memes earlier because like the timeline, I mean, we're transitioning, which is nice. People are transitioning away from, but then you see like I guess right now it's just the e-girls and a few people who are still doing the same old tired memes. I'm just kind of like, can we move on? Can we do something different?
I don't think we can. I think we kind of got algorithmically boxed in at this point where like I think Elon did a lot of really good stuff by like unshackling he did a lot of really good stuff by allowing us to see like infinite pictures of dead babies being killed in geopolitical conflicts, right?
Yeah.
Like by allowing everyone to see that like our proxy wars like kill a bunch of people in violent and graphic ways. I think that was probably good for helping people's overall understanding of like what is real and like what propaganda is. I think that's overall like a healthy impact on discourse, but I do think that the algorithmic incentives that are being applied to everyone are really like, and like, I don't think it's money. There's a lot of people who are saying like, oh, like everyone's just doing this like engagement baiting, like because there's like money in it now or whatever. But something about the way that he opened up the algorithm and made it accessible to, so you know how like previously all the communities were sort of walled into their own spheres?
Yeah.
Like the algorithm wouldn't really show you like a tech post if you were like some sort of like politics guy.
Yeah.
Like it would have to like break out really hard for that to happen. And when he sort of dissolved the boundaries between communities, he forcing everybody into the same normie hut means that like
everything gets like white. Like
like the content that gets elevated is necessarily going to be like the normie shit because when you're exposed to like a big audience. So now the feedback is like the posts that are just pure normie are going to be the best in every sphere.
Yes.
And I think that got changed a little bit recently because over the last 3 weeks or so, he sort of reboundarified everything. But there was definitely a period of like that last 6 months there where I was noticing like there genuinely is no incentive to post anything other than like really basic finance takes or just like the most like last year memes that have been like completely defanged and deemed culturally appropriate if you're maxing out engagement.
Yeah, I mean, my most normie coal is the ones that blow up now. Like, there's no like the most coal posting I do. If I properly coal post, it goes fucking viral. So
yeah. It's like I was literally, this was one of the things that I was like sitting there giggling next to Sila being like, dude, I'm about to fucking coal post so giga hard, man. And then he's like, send it. And then we both were like, wow, like look at the fucking pigs lapping this slop up. Look at the little piggies devouring this one. Yeah.
Nom 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 nom. Give me that fucking that trough.
Right. It is really a bizarre feeling when you realize like this is an absolute like dog shit post that I've created. Like this thing is completely like I'm embarrassed of this, but it's like it's like, people talk about like post irony. Like I've hit the point of like post embarrassment with it, right? And it's like post embarrassment as an after embarrassment, by the way, not post as embarrassment as in being embarrassed of the post.
Oh no, I like that. That post embarrassment as an after embarrassment sounds like a philosophical fucking treatsy.
We're hitting bars here, aren't we? It's funny though, because like that is the next phase after like the post irony shit where everyone is just like irony is so baked into everything. And we've kind of come full circle here where like now everybody is kind of craving sincerity and they just want shit to be real again. Like this parsing of 87 layers of irony and like different subcultures and communities, people, especially Zoomers, like they're actually sort of like fucking done with it.
The Zoomers
they just want you to like explain what you actually mean.
Which I'm glad because, I'm
I'm also glad because I like novelty and I'm sort of bored of.
Listen, that's what I was saying to people. There's more. The reason I'm very big on truth is because there's more like optionality after the truth than there is in most people's fabrications, just because they're not clever enough to make like a completely like novel pathways, right? When everyone says the truth, more novel things happen. You know what I mean? If you're being sincere, like the reality, it's like one of those like reality stranger than fiction. If you're lying, you're creating fictions, and it decreases the novelty ultimately. But that's just me. Unless you're masterful.
I don't know. I have obviously differing opinions on like I love fucking lying on the internet, bro. It's epic,
no.
right?
That's
like,
not what I mean. I mean like in real life.
Yeah.
And the internet, of course.
That was another thing. That's another thing always when I meet up with people in real life at these events. I forget how many people have like a horrific misreading of my tone. And like it all changes when they see me. They're like fucking giggling at dinner as I like tweet or reply or some shit like that. Like that was a lie, actually. I was really good this time about not having my phone out.
I don't tweet when I'm in with people.
Yeah, you can tell. Like my tweets actually went to giga dog shit the whole time I was there. Like my brain has a few modes, and the tweeting mode gets totally turned off when I'm around that many other people. I have to be. We have to be focusing the neurons elsewhere. But the important thing is that
the tone gets conveyed of your posting.
Right. And then people see that I'm generally like, like I literally have like, my face has like a permanent smirk on it, right? And they realize like, oh, like, I get it now. He's like a giggly like Hermes type character.
Yes, very Hermes pilled.
Yeah,
for sure. I think that also. I think that's also why the sentiment about me has changed a lot, because I go to a lot of events. So now a lot of people just know that I'm not being a bitter incel. Sometimes I am, just for fun though, but I'm not actually a bitter incel, and that has changed. The people don't get as mad at me anymore, which is not as fun. I kind of like arguing on the internet, but so it goes. We keep this wheel moving.
I like having fun reply banter, but the arguing, it's
love an argument.
We don't have the time anymore. We have to grind it out too hard.
Yeah, I know. We have like responsibilities.
We've got the Dealflow, bro. We need to be hitting up
Dealflow.
This I should actually use the podcast to be advertising this, but we stumbled across quite the Dealflow pipeline here for a lot of like ML and big data and blockchain stuff. So we've just been going around finding investors for things.
Listen, if you're gonna show them on the podcast, tell them to send us a little stack. We gotta use it. No free advertising.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, any sort of cool things that come to me out of BD fees, I, despite being Jewish, am not that Jewish, right? I'll give people who give me leads that are actionable are going to be rewarded.
Yes, sir.
They're going to be rewarded heavily and heartily.
The plan trusters get rewarded for sure. Let's see. Do we have enough time? I think we have enough time. I feel like we have to.
There's probably a lot of other. Dude, I never talked about the way that like some dude had like a health problem on like the fifth fucking story of some Portuguese building. And and the EMS guys literally like when called, they were like, dude, like the fucking fifth floor, like you want us to go up? You want us to go up how many floors, dude? Dude.
Jeez. Can you bring him down
really,
to me, Jeez?
It was really fucking insane, man. Like between that and like the security guard kicking this guy out who was like that was the other thing. Like I'm saying like it had to be the fact that he was wearing like a wife beater and was like a quarter black, because like there was nothing else about him that was like remotely like suspicious or off, right? Like he was normal, articulate. He didn't look sketchy. He wasn't like like I looked worse than him. Like I looked more like I was somebody who had been through some shit, man. Like I'm sure my eyes didn't look like a like sober, sane person. I was really fucking tired. Yeah. So it fucking had to be that. But yeah, I don't know. Just weird, bizarre country. as soon as we got there, somebody was like, I gotta ask it, man. Like, I really didn't want to do this, but I gotta ask this. Are the Portuguese white? And like 5 people just immediately in chorus go, no.
Based.
It's like an instant, no thought response.
No chance.
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, I can't say I disagree though.
I mean, they didn't really have like, there was clearly like a Portuguese phenotype, but there was so much other shit in there that like wasn't Portuguese at all. I was kind of like, what the fuck?
No, they're
like,
all very, of all the European countries, I feel like they're very mixed with the Moors.
Yeah, I was like,
is
this even Portuguese? Like, are we?
The Portuguese are weird. I like only vaguely can recognize them in public. They're it's just strange. I don't understand them, even though they're so similar to the Spanish. But they're just a weird second thing to me.
Have you been to Spain?
Because I've been to Spain.
I was in Spain, but it was so long ago that I don't really remember. Or I like, you know, when you have like some sort of like a big ideological like lifestyle shift to the extent that like everything that you remember as an experience before basically becomes unreliable.
Yeah.
The last time that I visited Spain was before I had something like that. So like I have memories of Spain, but they're like warped and tainted by the fact that I was basically like a non-sentient retard during that period. Everyone keeps telling me that Spain is like a better Portugal.
Yeah. Effectively, yeah.
Is that real?
It's been that way for 400 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Spain is Portugal as what Portugal wishes it was.
Because like, I'm going to be real. If you describe anything as the ex Portugal, it kind of makes me not want to go.
No, it's better. It's better Portugal.
I believe that it's better, but it's like, I can imagine what a better Portugal would be.
It's actually like, more right? So that Portugal is a worse Spain. So imagine Spain being
right, but it's like if I've already basically had the experience and I can just turn up the brightness a little bit.
Like, turn up the brightness, but like it's like a lot more like civilized. It's a civilized country.
Well, my issue with it wasn't the lack of civility; it was more so the lack of novelty. And I guess the Spanish architecture I have heard is substantially better than Portuguese. I will say the best architecture that I saw the entire time I was down there, the most cool building was the fucking like Urbit Convention Center that they had.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They made their own convention center?
No, they didn't make it. They had, they rented out some like old marble, like old timey, like massive mausoleum or something. Like it was a cool building. And it, you know those old like marble stairs where like they've been worn down from so many people stepping on the middle.
Yeah,
they're a little bit warped in, and they like are slanted. And there was a time where like people were coming in with like wet shoes, and me and Delicious Tacos were like walking up the stairs together. And I was like, this could well be the fucking end of us, right? Like this is like, we have leather soled shoes on. This is the slipperiest floor probably in the entire universe. And it's like, these aren't like short stairs, right? Like these are like, it was like
long spiraling.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't spiraling.
Wooden banister.
It was straight up with no, and like we were in like the middle of the staircase because they were like wide stairs. We couldn't hold any guardrails or anything like that.
Oh no. Yeah.
I was just like,
you're fucked.
This could be really bad. And I was like, I'm hoping that by talking about this, we're going to dispel like the negative energy that could be released and send us careening down these things. Because if we hit our fucking head on these stairs, like it is so over. It's so over. Like this is the most solid piece of construction in the entire country of Portugal. There's going to be no give to it. My skull is going to crack like a fucking egg. Nobody will ever hear from Lukas
and
again.
They won't even fucking Humpty Dumpty ass.
Yeah,
they won't even come pick you up or try to put you back together.
Dude, oh fuck, the whole country was a scam. I forgot about this. The fucking,
what do you mean?
So you know the meme is like never exchange currency at the airport.
Yes.
I broke the rule. Everyone gave me shit for this. They're like, oh, you did. But it's like, so every time I've done this, it's been like a 7% or like a 6% fee. Like it's never been that bad. I did it in Portugal and I straight up lost fucking 25%.
Jesus Christ.
Right. They like turbo fuck you. They fuck you so hard, man. So like I was fine eating the fee. I just didn't really check. And I assumed that it's like, fuck it. It'll be like 10%. I'll donate it in like the spirit of abundance or something like that. And then I look at how much the euros I got were actually worth. And I was like, what the fuck? So then I go, and we were trying to get the packages that they'd sent for the merch, right? Like their Amelia stuff. And they deliver it to my hotel and they were like, okay, like you just need to pay the customs fees. And I was like how much is it? And they're like 252 euros. And I'm like, what? I'm like, the valuation of the package was marked down as like lower than that. Like it's 200. And they were like, yeah, sorry. And I was like, okay, so like, do you take card? And they're like, no, sorry, we only take cash. And I was like, what?
Oh, that's crazy.
So then I only had hundreds, right? So I was like, okay, do you, and I asked the hotel counter, like, do you have change? And they were like, no. And I was like, what? So I pay them 300 euros for the 252 euro customs.
Oh, they have no change. Oh,
and then they're like, yeah, like we can't give you change. And I'm like, this is such a fucking scam. Like you guys are absolutely like this is worse than crazy. This is worse than Jewish people. This is worse than the Dutch even.
Bro,
like
the Mexicans, the Mexicans, like in Mexico, the cartel wouldn't even do you like that.
Right. It was actually like that was the worst I have ever been scammed in my entire life.
That's crazy.
Right. And like I'm almost positive that like the customs fee that they charged me was like, you know, like 252 euros. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, they scammed you on that too. Yeah.
It was like we marked down a $200 valuation on the package that we sent them. And they're charging me that much for customs, right? Like customs is typically like 6% of like the valuation of the package or some shit.
That's nuts.
And then this was after they delivered it like 4 days later than they told us to, and they like lost the package, right? So it was just like, okay, Portuguese customs can get fucked. You people are absolutely absurd. We did hand the t-shirts out though, and they're pretty good. I gotta say, I had a little bit of I wish that the logo had like the Remelia Corporation, like PMC contractor thing on the front instead of the same logo as on the front and the back. But you know, we thrive.
Yeah, we vibe.
I can definitely. There's probably a few people who are listening to this that want shirts too. Actually, I should send you some to hand out in Austin.
When he gets older, he won't sound like this anymore, right?